Hey y'all, hey, listen. I sat here and ate crabs and binge watched Unprisoned season 2 while I ate the crabs. And it was really good. I enjoyed season 1, but I enjoyed season 2 as well. This season we found. Now, why can't I think of his name? Delroy Lindo's character, the father. He actually decided to remove all obstacles out of the way to do what he needs to do to get his family back. So he told Paige he would go to counseling and family therapy with him, Paige's son, Finn, and the actual therapist was played by John Stamos. And he had an unorthodox way of making them dig deep into themselves to figure it out. And Paige really figured out a lot of things and how past traumas contributed to her life now and the decisions she made. I kind of was feeling like, because there's a part where Finn is curious about his father. His aunt, is her name Nettie or Nellie? Nene, something like that. She gave him an album and told him that, your father sung about you and wrote something about you in his liner notes. So it made him curious. So they all went to California to find the father. They pull up on his really, really pretty house. And as a matter of fact, the house looked like the same house that was used in this movie I recently watched, where it's a movie with the little she's a young lady now, but she played the little sister in Crazy Stupid Love. She was the little sister in that. She also played the little sister in Ramona and Beezus. But her mom was a book writer. Is that it? Yeah, the mom was a writer. And Nicole Kidman, if I'm not mistaken, Nicole Kidman was the mother. And what's his name? Zac Efron was the young lady's boss or whatever. But anywho, that's going on another tangent. It's a recent movie that just came out on one of the apps. It didn't go to the theaters. It's on one of these apps. But anywho, the house they pulled up to looks exactly like the house that Zac Efron had in that movie. And I just feel like they went in thinking, like, you've been away all this time. You haven't reached out to your son. Because that's what we're led to believe from the way the show's been written. Like, you knew where he was all the time and you didn't reach out. And you're living like this. But then again, we don't know what Paige had said or did or told him. He was sending child support checks, though. I think she did mention that. Because she said that he needed to increase the payments. But this time, the grandfather had told the grandson, I'm going to be with you every step of the way. But when they got there, he had to tell him, listen, you got to be a man about this. You got this. You can go in there and have the conversation with your father. Because that was another thing, a theme throughout this season, was the grandfather teaching Finn a lot of different life lessons. Because the grandfather actually got a job as not a counselor, but a resident assistant or whatever at the halfway house. So he took Finn there to kind of get him to get some community service hours and stuff like that, because they went to like a college fair or whatever, and one of the administrators at the school told them Finn is super smart, but Finn doesn't have any socialization, and he needed to become more well-rounded so that he can have something good to write on these applications to make him more competitive amongst other students to get into these schools. So Paige was a little iffy about letting him go and work at the halfway house with her dad, but she did. And he learned how to fight. They taught him what it's like to be in jail and how to stand up for yourself and all that kind of stuff like that. So he had to use that what his grandfather showed him. His grandfather and the other guys showed him in this moment, in this, going to go see his dad and talk to him. And they get in there. The father is, he looks similar to the actor Gary Sinise, but I know that wasn't him. But anywho, he gets in there and he's talking to his dad, and dad promises to come see him at Christmas because he offered to take him on a tour, and Paige was like, absolutely not. And apparently the dad is married to a potato chip. She's a potato chip company heiress. So that's how they got money. So they get back home, they have Thanksgiving, and then they have Christmas. Paige was kind of by humbug about Christmas because at some point she talked to her dad about it, and he was trying to make this the best Christmas ever, right? He was doing all this stuff, trying to start some new traditions and everything. Paige, adoptive foster mom, comes over. The father even took a break from Nadine because Paige said Nadine was a trigger for her. Because it was shown that Nadine helped, but Paige said Nadine only did things when she was getting something out of it too. It wasn't just about Paige, it was about Nadine getting something, and then Paige is an afterthought, is how Paige felt. But anyway, Paige's sister Nellie, whatever her name is, she joined some group for Korean kids who were adopted by white parents or whatever in America and don't know where their Korean heritage or their parents and stuff is. So Paige dad went with her to one of those a meetup with those people while they was in California. So she decided that she really wanted to look up and figure it out. She wanted to do a DNA ancestry and figure out where her parents was, see if she had a match with some other siblings or something. So at Christmas, she sat the mom down and actually told her that that's what she had wanted to do. The mom said, I did the best I could raising y'all and stuff. And she was she was a little bit hurt by it. But she didn't want to keep Nettie from looking up and finding what she could find. So because of that, she decided to go lay down. She goes lay down in Paige's room. And they all still having it. Like, all kinds of things was going wrong. Paige's father had to actually go and go buy some pizzas and come back because the power went out and all kinds of things. So he couldn't cook the turkey he wanted to cook. And he's really into cooking. He wants to have a restaurant too. But he wanted to have a food truck first. So he his goal is getting my license and doing all this and that. So he was able to get a license and everything, and he put a bid in and got himself a food truck. And he showed Paige and Finn the truck he was getting for his food truck. But anyway, on Christmas, it started to snow. And they were so excited for the snow, and they said, Paige told the sister, go get mom so she can see. She went to go get mom, and something told me that lady gonna be up there dead. And she was. The sister came back down the steps like, she's not breathing, Paige. So, they, it's really sad. They have a funeral for her and everything. And during the whole course of the season, Paige broke up with Mel in season 1. She just gave up. She pushed him away, basically. But she realized over the course of the season, she still liked him and still wanted a chance with him. But he had moved on and had another girlfriend. And the girlfriend was played by Brandy, who plays Mercedes on P Valley. On here, she was a law school student who also taught pole classes. Paige went to one of her classes, and she really was trying to help, but she was throwing it in Paige's face like, this what I can do, whatever, as far as like doing the pole and all that. So Paige felt like she was competing with her. She tried to climb up the pole and fell when she was coming back down off the pole or whatever, right? But anywho, they have the funeral, and they have, instead of calling it a repast, they called this finale episode the after party. After the funeral, Paige made a toast and stuff, and she was speaking about giving people second chances and love and things, and the whole speech was towards Malcolm because he got invited to come because he was there at Christmas as well, and he wanted to keep showing up for Paige's father for all the good that he trying to do and stuff like that, and showing up for Paige too. She made this speech, and he felt in like after the speech, he like got his stuff and was like, I gotta go. And then next thing you know, he comes back and tells her he had to figure out his feelings about everything, and he felt like he still had feelings for her too. So he went and broke it off with the girlfriend and came back and told Paige that he wanted to try again as well. And then the season ends with Paige's dad coming upstairs saying that her mother was downstairs, her biological mother. I had mentioned something about Paige having this bad memory about Christmas, and it was because when she was little, one Christmas, the police came and barged in, and they arrested both her parents, and that was the year that the father took the heat. They let the mother go, and the mother took Paige and dropped her off at an orphanage or something. And that's why Paige feels the way she feels. But she didn't really remember that part about being dropped off at the orphanage. Finn's father, the grandfather had a conversation with Finn's dad when he was in California. It was like, you got to show up for him. It's never too late, and don't bullshit him. Like, he an awesome kid. Don't bullshit him, but he needs his father. He still needs his father. Make sure you show up for him. So he was like, I'm going to come for Christmas. He didn't show up for Christmas at all. Ain't called nothing, just didn't show up. But the season was really, really good. I really enjoyed it. I think it's a good show, and I feel like it should be talked about more, about the issues that people coming home from prison face and the hardships they go through as far as trying to get their lives on track, because it's not set up for them to come out and be successful. It's set up for them to be returned, like repeat offenders, and go back. And that's my thoughts for the movie. For the series. I see y'all in my next review, haul, or whatever. Peace out.